I don't know what you guys do to sound British. If you have to to turn your tongue or something like that. What did you do?
I actually received a number of messages on my WhatsApp, indeed, asking me, Chris, do you have sort of a magic wand which I can use and then to start speaking like this?
Maybe if you have, you guys tell us right now, man.
I actually have.
Is it natural?
Yes, it is natural.
Okay.
It's not artificial. I'm human. Try to touch me.
Yeah, the guy is human. He's human. Olá pessoal, sejam mais uma vez bem-vindos ao canal Angopolyglot. Bernardo Silvino aqui na Educação, o vosso boy. Estão a ver esse cara aqui que está comigo hoje? É mais um cara que vai me matar aqui de British accent. É isso mesmo. A primeira vez que eu vi o vídeo dele no Facebook, eu disse para mim, my God, esse cara tem que vir no podcast, pá. Tem que vir me contar a história de como é que ele chegou a ter esse sotaque tão interessante, tão britânico, que sem dúvidas vocês vão amar tão logo começarem a ouvi-lo. Chris, welcome to Angopolyglot, bro.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much. Man, how you doing?
Not bad. About you?
Well, slow down, man. Slow down. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. So excited to have you, you know?
Yes, thank you.
Man, essa conversa aqui vai ser difícil, yeah? Fogo, eu vou começar a rir todo momento, vou ficar aqui sempre, my God, okay. So, man, it's a pleasure.
Yeah,
it's really a pleasure having you here today.
Oh my.
I think we were planning that 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes, indeed.
Why are you so serious, man?
No, I'm not that serious, but I tend to be serious in some sort of environment, you know. And this one actually deserves it.
Wow, this one deserves it.
Yes.
Wow, that's good. That sounds good to my ear, man.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So, man, please, let's introduce yourself to our audience. I believe that they are like, oh my God, this guy is an Angolan. He's a real Angolan guy. Tell me about yourself. Where were you born? Your background and something like that, please.
Well, hello everybody, this is Chris talking to you, and I actually was supposed to say master of a language. This is not master of a language indeed. I'm here in Angopolyglot. Well, as the question was mad, I'm Chris, well known by Chris David Francisco. I'm an Angola English speaker. I was born in Rwanda. I actually grew up in a family which my brothers also used to speak English. Oh, they remain speaking English until now, but I think that we may talk forward. Or what? Yes, I'm an English teacher and I'm here today to make the party.
Wow, good. Your process, how English came to your life. At what moment of your life did you realize, I need to master this language?
Well, I actually will say that I didn't choose English.
English chose you.
Indeed. I know that for many people actually might seem a bit different and comic indeed.
Yeah.
But that actually leads me back to my story, which I just said minutes back.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 brothers which are teachers, though one of them is not teaching us, but they were teachers when I actually first began speaking English.
Mm-hmm.
I was the unique man in our house who wasn't able to speak English.
Okay.
And that's why in the first time was very difficult to learn and also to be there at the center because my brothers, they were always speaking English and then some. So I didn't learn English because I wanted, but I started going to the English training because my brothers told me that you have to go.
Mm.
That's why I said I didn't choose.
Okay,
they chose. And English chose me.
Okay.
So, and during this process, I actually had a lot of hard times.
Yeah, because you didn't choose the language.
I didn't choose, and I was actually going because my brothers, they were always telling me, you have to go, you have to go, you have to do this and that.
Yeah.
But at the first time, I didn't have this willing and also this passion. I was there, because my brothers, they were always telling me, you have to go. But as the upper grows, as the time starts going by, I had this wonderful passion. And it was very hard to learn the English language. If I'm not mistaken, I took more than 5 years.
My God,
Only
5
to
years.
learn the English language.
Just because you didn't want it.
Indeed. And it was like at the training center, I was there with my brothers learning. But at home, I don't open my notebooks. I do nothing.
My God.
Yeah,
But
that was-
they were there speaking and something like that. That didn't motivate you any moment.
That actually was one of the cons, because having my brothers already speaking English, and I was the unique one who wasn't able to do that,
Yeah.
was very difficult, because I was like, oh, this sort of a barrier to me. I will not reach this level.
Yeah.
I created sort of a barrier on my mind, and that actually made me to pass hard times in order to learn the language. But from the day I decided to take it seriously,
5 years later.
5 years later, and from 5 years trying, 2 years I got the point, and today I'm the person who I am now, Chris, master of a language.
Master of a language. And once the moment that you decide, now I have to improve, now I'm going to adapt myself to the language, at that very moment, did you already choose the British accent, or you still were working only on your fluency and something like that?
Actually, I always tend to tell people, and also precisely my students, that English, it's not about intensity. English is all about consistency. You don't have to be intense like you want to learn everything in a blink of an eye. It's going to be impossible, out of question. So you have to be concise and consistent. Learn step by step. I actually started by working on my fluency, which are the 4 skills which we have: writing, listening, reading, and then some. But I didn't choose British one, because us as Angolans, we know that the trend, or even the pronunciation or accent which we have here around our country is American.
As American,
and
yes.
it's way difficult to find somebody who actually pronounce words in a very British way. So,
Like you do.
no.
Sure, bro.
Yeah,
Sure.
that was way difficult at first. I didn't choose British.
Okay.
I have to be serious and also concise about me. From the moment I met a very person which actually everybody knows him,
Yeah.
and it's quite impossible to talk about my journey without mentioning his name. I think I'm going to be sort of selfish if I do not mention his name.
Yes, actually I know.
Yes, everybody knows.
Okay.
The audience knows, and everybody knows,
Yeah.
which is Zola.
Okay.
And that's something which I don't like to say,
Yeah.
because sometimes it's always in like broad or something else. Me and Zola, we were the first guys just making others to use and also to choose British pronunciation.
You were the first guys doing that.
Me and Zola.
You and Zola, yes.
Zola, he actually can confirm this. As I love to say, I'm the man from the shadows.
Okay.
Everybody sees Zola.
Yes.
Everybody knows Zola. But sometimes they forgot Chris.
Okay.
Because, before just going live or even recording some videos, we didn't start from the videos. We started from the audios.
Okay.
On WhatsApp, people which are really old and in terms of archaic, on Facebook, precisely on the group Advanced English Speaker, they know me and they know Zola. Because we were always there fighting against everybody. They didn't want to accept us as first when we come. Yeah, that's a given.
Really?
Indeed.
Oh God.
Yes. They didn't want to accept us.
Why, man?
Because they said you don't sound human, you don't sound normal.
Oh my God, man! They say that you didn't sound human, like a robot.
Everybody who is from Advanced English Speaker
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Not the newcomers indeed.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Okay.
about people like.
So how long English speaker there?
If I'm not mistaken, 2 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, 2, not 3.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years back.
Okay.
And that's when we were just sharing some audios there.
Yeah.
And also sharing some sort of classes.
Yeah.
But they weren't videos, they
Yeah.
were audios.
Mm-hmm.
So back in a while, just from your question indeed, I started choosing the British accent when I met Zola.
Okay.
But just talk about Zola, I think that's going to be way comic indeed. Zola is my childhood friend.
Okay, you grew up together.
Yes, I think he told you at
He
school.
told me for sure. He told me for sure. Yeah.
Our fathers are friends. I studied with Zola from the primary school.
Okay.
Yes.
Colleagues. Wow.
Okay, but due to some personal matters, we had to go up to
Bengo.
Luanda,
Yeah.
to Bengo.
Yeah.
So that was one of the reasons we lost touch.
Okay.
And when we first met on Facebook, oh bro, how are you indeed? We changed WhatsApp. I told her I'm sorry, an English teacher. Oh yes, me too.
Good.
He sent me his audio. I said, oh my god. Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, I said no, that can't be real.
Yeah. Is that you?
Is that you? He said, yeah, it's me indeed. No, I was like, no. And I decided working on my British accent
Okay. So
And then-
influenced
by Zola.
by Zola.
That's why I say, being the first guy doing something does not mean that you, the most well known, or even the person who is going to influence others to do the thing.
Okay.
Zola indeed wasn't the first guy to come with a British accent.
Okay.
But if you try to ask slightly everybody who uses the British version or British accent, he actually will point to Zola.
Okay.
Because the power of influence people, he has it. And indeed others, they also took it from me. But I decided to do not be always showing myself up.
Yes. Did you decide to be in the shadow?
Yeah, to be in the shadows.
Why?
Yeah. No, because I saw that everybody, they started being skeptical about me.
Oh.
They were like, oh no, you do that. And I don't like it. I don't like people always on my back, like, yeah, you do that. If you, I do not know whether you
didn't, like, you were not ready for...
actually not ready. I would not say that I wasn't ready. I would say like, I don't like it.
You don't like... I remember a guy was here, Pedro Mavacala. He had a situation like this and he said, no, I don't like people always comment, telling things about me. I can't stand it.
Yes, I've decided to quit from recording videos.
Oh my God.
Yes, people
just because of that.
Because of that. And I remember myself being 6 or 7 months without recording.
My God, man.
Yes.
But man, walk us through the process of your British. Like, do you have some kind of exercise that you did? I know that you were influenced by Zola, but how did you get there? What did you do to speak like this?
Well,
because it's like I don't know what you guys do to sound British. If you have to like to turn your tongue or something like that. What did you do?
Well, actually, talking about exercise.
What you did, guys? Tell me what you did.
Yes.
So for the moment that you saw, okay, Zola is speaking like this. Now I have to work on it. How was the process?
That's the way it called me.
Because there are many people trying to speak like a British accent, you know.
And I actually received a number of messages on my WhatsApp, indeed, asking me, Chris, do you have sort of a magic wand which I can use and then to start speaking like this?
Maybe if you have, guys, tell us right now, man.
I actually have. And today I will spill the beans.
Do it, bro. And today, can you repeat it today?
I'm going to spill the beans.
Oh my God. Okay, do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Actually, I will share one of the secrets which I only share with my students.
Okay.
Which is and it's also well known, but people did not apply that way as much today, which is the mirroring technique.
The what?
Mirroring technique.
The mirroring technique. Okay.
Yes.
Do I have to go to the mirror and bridge?
Not actually.
Okay.
You don't have to
dive into it.
You don't
please.
have to run on the mirror indeed.
Yeah.
You have to run directly to Chris. Chris must be your mirror.
Okay, Chris. Okay.
And how actually the mirroring technique works?
Dive into it, please.
Yes. You look at somebody. First, I'm going to talk about it on stage indeed. The first step is just you need to have a sort of a role model. And just explaining what's a role model. Role model is a person who you like, the person who you like, maybe the way he speaks or the way he performs, because that's something which I put in mind. I do not only speak English, I perform English.
My God, this guy is incredible.
Yeah.
Can you repeat this one?
I do not only speak English.
You perform English.
I perform it. Because that's actually the difference.
Yes.
And that's actually what makes people, or what actually takes people breath away when they listen to somebody like me.
Yeah.
It's because I use my body, I use my mind, I use my hands. This is a musicality.
So, guys, you say today, okay, I'm going to Angopolyglot podcast, and I'm gonna take their Nadukan's breath away. Yeah. I'm going to perform, and the guy will be like, "Oh my God!"
No, that's actually my life.
This
it's
is your
actually
life.
my life. Yeah.
Okay.
I once said if I was a dumb, or if I wasn't able to speak, I think I should be the most unfortunate person in the world. Yeah.
Okay, go. You perform. Keep on. You have to have a role model. This is the first step.
Yes, thank you very much for just bringing back the thought. First, you need actually a role model. And then what you have to do, you have to mimic what the one is doing.
Okay.
Actually, you don't have to mimic his gestures. You don't have to mimic the way he gestures, but the way he speaks. And you have to do it for 5 seconds intervals. Like you listen to him, you go back 5 seconds, you repeat. You listen, repeat.
Is it shadowing?
Shadowing, indeed.
Yeah.
As I said, there are a lot of guys which they use this method, but they don't apply that right away.
Okay.
So you listen, repeat. 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
5 seconds. You listen, repeat. What you're doing, you are actually training your muscles to start speaking in this way. Okay? You have to train your muscles because our muscles are actually used of a way which we always use. Like if I speak in a way, my muscles, they are going to be familiar with this way.
Okay.
And when my muscles are familiar with one way, to get rid of this way, I have to train a lot. I didn't start speaking English in this way. I didn't. If I say I did, I'm actually lying. Okay?
Yes.
It actually took a while. It actually took a great amount of time and a lot of effort. It actually took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to reach this very level. Indeed. So I now just back into the formula. You listen, repeat.
You listen,
repeat.
Okay.
Like if I say, hello everybody.
Hello everybody.
You listen and repeat. Hello everybody. And you try to speak the same way I'm doing.
Okay.
What you're doing, you're training your muscle. You're training your muscle to start speaking this way. I'm actually trained for maths, but let me tell you this equation works. Imitation plus repetition times 3 equals muscle memory. Muscle memory times your brand new British accent equals you can thank me later.
My God.
That's actually a formula.
Okay.
Imitation plus repetition times 3 equals muscle memory. Muscle memory times your brand new British accent equals you can thank me later. If you apply this rule, if you apply this mirroring technique, actually you're going to be familiar with the accent or with the person which you want to speak like. Because it's quite impossible you to start speaking in a way without having somebody who actually motivates you.
Your
It's
role
quite
model,
impossible.
something, okay.
Your role model. It's
And
quite impossible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at first, I had Zola as well. Zola indeed.
Yeah.
But as the upper grows, I sort of get rid of it. Today, I have some other guys, but I have my own way.
Your own way of speaking.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
it's important.
That's a given.
Yeah.
And that's actually the thing which I don't like. I'm actually trying to to switch lines and also to change my accent.
Yeah.
If you people which they have a sort of a phonemic awareness, that if they listen to me, they're going to understand that I have sort of an Australian accent.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And to notice it, actually, you need to have sort of a phonemic awareness, which is you have to understand about the sounds and then some, which is another 50s way hard to reach.
Tell me something, bro. How did you work? You were working on your accent, and how did you work together your fluency, pronunciation, vocabularies? Because I listened to you, you have a very rich vocabulary. How did you work all these things together? Because people, if there are people that when they are working on their accent, they just focus on accent. But I can see that you're complete.
I'm complete.
Yeah. You have very interesting vocabularies. That's good. That sounds good to my ear. How did you work all these things together?
Well, just being concise.
I like it.
I will tell you something, sort of a secret.
A secret.
And
This guy is just sharing secret here.
yes.
Vocês são sortudos, minha audiência, são sortudos.
Because as I said, I'm sort of a person who is always in the shadows.
Yeah.
And arrives a time in your life which you have a sort of a knowledge and things to share, but you hide it for you. You hide. You say nobody must knows it, because if they know, they will be like me.
Yeah.
But when you're growing, indeed, I know that I'm a very young age, but but if you're growing, you actually figure out that there is nothing far more interesting than sharing knowledge to others.
There isn't.
There isn't indeed.
Yeah.
So and now I'm just sharing sort of all my secrets, sort of everything which I've done in order to be the person which I'm today. And I'm going to make you a question. I know that you are the guy who asks here, but I'm going to break the rules. Do you love your wife?
Yes, I do.
Prove it. Give me the number that have to know that you love your wife.
The number?
Yes.
10.
It's actually an impossible question to answer.
Very difficult, bro.
And that's exactly what happens with the fluency and the ease of speaking a language.
Okay.
You don't have actually a formula to explain to people how things happen. You only do.
Okay.
Your wife didn't fall in love with you because you remember her birthday and bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. No. That was an accumulation of things which you were doing. Like when she had a terrible day at work and you had a wonderful day, you came and you didn't tell her I want to tell you about my wonderful day, and you forgot her awful day. No. You sat there and listened to her awful day without saying a thing about your amazing day. That's where the love began. And that was she slept and she woke up. As she pressed the button, she said, I love this guy. That's exactly what happens with English.
Okay.
You practice, you listen, you do this and that. You read this, you read that. You listen this person, you don't listen this person. And it's going to be you press the button, and you're there. Okay? You can speak, you can understand, you can do this and that. And you can't fold your hands, indeed. You have to work to reach the fluency actually requires blood, sweat, and tears.
Okay.
Work, listen, speak, do this and that. And I was actually developing a sort of a method which relies on high frequency words. And for those which they do not know,
High frequency words. Okay.
High frequency words are those expressions which we always use in our day-to-day life.
Okay.
So, if you rely on high frequency words, you're going to realize that it's going to become much more easier to understand people. The very problem mainly talking about Angolans is that they focus on low frequency words.
Okay.
And low frequency words are those expressions which are not so much used in English. Okay, they are mostly used in people which they are middle class, like kings and then some. But you need to learn high frequency words, expressions which people are always using.
So you focus on that.
I focus on it.
Okay.
Okay, but if you focus on it, you also have to study low frequency words.
Okay.
Okay, it actually has to be a balance, sort of a balance. You start low frequency words and high frequency words. Mind you actually have to rely more on high frequency words because are expressions which people are always being used in our day-to-day life. Okay, so just going back to the question, to have the fluency, it actually requires hard working, listening a lot, listening a lot, and applying what you are listening.
Okay.
If you don't apply what you listen, actually you're doing zero.
Do you apply a kind of exercise? I don't know. You say that you stop recording videos, but is it a tool that you use to apply things that you learn? Recording yourself, audio, videos. Is that also a tool that you use?
Indeed, very much so. That's true. There are some things which are results. Even those questions which you're asking me today are questions which I got 2 years back. People they stay skeptical and they want to know everything, how it works, and then some.
Yeah.
They actually want to learn, and you have to be prepared. So the thing which people see today, precisely about me, Chris, is a result of hard working for 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's it. So today I'm a bit relaxed. I have to confess, I don't record that much. I don't record myself that much. I don't do the mirroring technique that much. But as two years back, I used to do and was like constantly every day, all the time I was like, I have to do this, I have to reach this level and then some. Today are only the fruits. Today I know I don't do that much, but some years back, yes.
You did. What is master of language?
Master of a language. The story of master of a language actually is it's a bit strange.
Okay.
Yes. And there are a bunch of things which I don't like to be always.
Try to concise. What motivated you to create a master of a language? What is the aim of master of a language?
Yes, indeed. Because today people, everybody wants to record. Yeah. Today everybody wants to be an English teacher.
Okay.
Yes. He picks up his phone and
he's a teacher. I teach online and something like that.
Yeah. But when I started, wasn't like this.
Okay.
We had a very limited number of teachers who used to record.
But how old are you guys? You said that you are very young.
Yes, I'm in a very young age.
Yeah.
But that's why I said, being the first guy starting something does not necessarily means that you influence people.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Myself, I wasn't the first guy coming in this British accent.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we had or we have a huge impact on people's life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, some they had this motivation from my audios, which maybe they did not know that it's me.
That was you?
Yes,
Yeah.
because that was only audios. I wasn't there because sometimes people, when they listen to me, they think, oh no, is this all? Something like, okay, but that's it. That's strange. Okay, that's strange. Master of a language actually came in a time which everybody was skeptical about me. Okay. If you try to watch my first video, you're going to realize that I said something like, I'm recording this video because people tend to think that I make weird faces while recording. Yeah. Because people, when they used to listen my audios, they say, no, he makes such a huge effort in order to pronounce words like this.
Yeah.
And not.
Yeah.
That's where came the motivation of recording and also creating Master of a Language.
Okay.
First was to show to everybody
that
I'm not
you're a real guy.
I'm not much.
So you learn something and then you have to prove to people that you are human. This is
Yes.
That was the first goal.
That actually was the first.
Okay.
Yes.
And the second. Did you solve people's problem with Master of a Language?
Do you know my slogan?
No, I don't.
There is nothing far more interesting than feeling comfortable with your sounding. There is nothing far more interesting than feeling comfortable with your sounding.
Okay.
Like I'm there in order to solve people's problem.
Okay.
I'm there to help people in order to sound natural.
What kind of solution you provide to people who come to you, like, I need to learn English, I need to something like that? What kind of solution do you provide?
Like
Master of a Language.
Master of a Language. So apart from charge, there is nothing which makes me speak Portuguese.
Okay.
Just back in a while, it was difficult to find a video of mine speaking Portuguese.
Only English.
Only English. Okay.
Okay.
That's why it's a bit difficult to listen to me speaking Portuguese. I don't like that much to speak Portuguese. Yeah.
Okay, in Angolan guy who doesn't like to speak Portuguese.
That much.
Yeah. Okay.
Because this a very. I think people, they have to understand about languages, and then they have to be concise about what they say.
Okay.
People like to associate your L1 to your L2, which is your first language to your second language. The way you speak your L1, it actually sometimes don't need to be the same way you're going to speak your L2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They associate the way you speak Portuguese to the way you're going to
target
speak
language.
English.
Yes.
They think if I use a very different tone in Portuguese, and if I use a different one in English, I'm just faking. Okay?
Yeah.
That's the thing which they associate.
But is it natural?
Yes, indeed, it's natural.
Okay.
It's not artificial. I'm human. Try to touch me.
Yeah, the guy's human. He's human, man.
That's human.
Okay.
Okay, that has to do with physicality.
Okay.
Language cannot be only mental. That's why a lot of my students they tell me, teacher, I have the word on my mind, but I cannot take it out.
Yeah.
Because it's mental, it's not physical. And you have to take English from mental and to become physical. You have to use what you have. You have to dance, the musicality, the prosody. People have to feel something when they listen to you.
Okay.
They cannot hear some load. No. They have to listen and to enjoy what they are listening. That's actually my purpose. And so I just skipped your question. What was your question? Your last
my
one?
question was the kinds of solution that you provide to people. People comes after you.
Thank you very much.
They want to learn English.
And I was saying that I rarely speak Portuguese. Why? Because my videos are more likely to advanced speakers. Because I don't use subtitles.
Yeah.
If I use in English. Okay? And kind of solutions. I teach grammar, I teach vocabulary, I teach pronunciation. I actually teach people how they can become concise while they speak. I teach tone. Okay, and that's something in which a lot of Angolans, they have to work. They have to work on their tone.
Speak a little bit about this tone.
Okay, the tone of your voice actually makes people to be interested or not. If you're speaking too down, people are going to say like, he speaks well, but his tone,
you cannot hear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're speaking too up, that's loud.
Yeah.
You have to know. You have to know your pace.
Okay.
Not too fast, not too slow, but use yours. You have to be familiar with yours. Back in a while, people, when they used to find me on street, they used to say, "Chris, you sound different from the way you sound on the videos or even on the WhatsApp."
Yeah.
That's because the tone of my voice. Okay.
Changed.
It changed. Okay. It changed. When I'm recording on my phone, there isn't loud.
Yeah.
In spaces like this one, which we are in a wonderful place.
Yeah, for sure.
Indeed, very much so. My voice flows well, and I have to choose and also to know where I am, which tone I'm going to use. Because if I use a very high tone in high pitch, it maybe bothers you or something like. I have to know the way I'm going to pose and to use my tone. And I also give some sort of tips on how they can work on their tone.
Wow, fantastic. Is that intonation?
Yes.
Has to do with intonation, something like that?
Yes, actually, intonation is part of it, because intonation shows the speaker's attitude, the way their voice goes, and indeed, that's intonation.
What projects are you currently working on?
Well, I'm sort of a man who is in the shadows, as I.
Yeah. Today you're here. We need to know these things about you because you're actually in the shadows. Yeah. What projects are you currently working on?
Well, I have a lot of projects, mainly master of language. It's working on a project about lectures. I want to be lecturing in some houses and places, some rooms, and then some. And that's one of them. Currently, I'm working at Negro Academy Hub, which is a training school, which we teach English for slightly every field, and also I teach at Avokindombe, which is a school. I teach English. Yeah. Projects, concise mind. It's only master of language, which I want to explode or even to share more about it. Yes.
American or British tea?
Like what? About
Tea.
Tea what?
Tea. Coffee, tea. American or British?
Indeed, British.
British.
Yes.
What advice would you give to people who won't speak like you?
No, I actually don't advise people to speak like me.
I mean the British accent. They want to develop a British accent.
Yeah, and they first have to like the sounds of me.
Okay.
If they like the way I sound, then
the sounds of you.
Yes.
And then they have
They might apply the mirroring technique using my videos. I actually have a lot of them on my Facebook, on my TikTok, which is Chris Ferreira 04. Okay, if you go on TikTok, Chris Ferreira 04, you're going to find me. On Facebook, Chris Ferreira. On Instagram, Chris Ferreira 07 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, you're going to find some videos of mine. And you actually have to work hard.
Okay.
You actually have to work hard. Because working hard for something you don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something you love, it's called passion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Indeed, guy.
Yes.
Indeed.
And
yeah.
if you're working on something you love, it's not going to be stressful.
Yeah.
But if you're working on something which you don't like, every single mistake is going to be like, oh my God, I shouldn't be here doing this. videos.
Yeah, sure.
Okay?
Sure.
So, work on the thing you love.
Wow, thank you very much. One last question, and I don't know if it's a question, maybe a statement. You know something. All the guys that I know who can speak British accents or speak like this, they always use indeed. Is that a must, guy? Is that a must? You love so much indeed. Most of you guys, British guy, yeah.
That actually makes part of high frequency words.
High frequency word.
Yeah,
okay.
And because I tend to I listen to everybody.
Yeah.
There are people which they think that I only listen Americans. Oh, British.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. Everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on my phone, if you pick up, you're going to find a lot of American videos.
Wow.
I listen to people like Barry Johnson. I love Barry Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay. People like Benedict Cumberbatch, mainly. Benedict
I know
Cumberbatch
that
is
guy.
from,
Yeah.
Movie.
The guy is very famous.
Yes.
Avengers, Vingadores.
Yes.
Yeah, Doutor Estranho.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know,
I know him. The guy is a flawless.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they actually need to listen. Listening leads you to perfection. Okay.
Wow.
Listen a lot. Listen.
This is Chris, pessoal. O cara é incrível. This is Chris, cara sem dúvida vai voltar aqui. O cara é incrível.
We need to have a scale.
We need to have
a scale. A scale is just a second part of it.
Yes, we will for sure. We will for sure, bro. Because I'm sure that this video will have a lot of comments.
And actually, I'm inviting a very person who I love a lot, Uncle Ben. You should sit here. That's something which people they were always asking.
Uncle Ben has already been here, man.
No, with me.
With you?
Yes.
Okay, that will be an amazing day. Uncle Ben actually has we have been talking about doing something like with other guys. We've been planning that, me and Uncle Ben. We have been talking about it, and for sure it's good. We can have here a very interesting conversation. You can share your story and something like that.
We tried once to go live on Facebook.
Okay.
Due to some problems, it didn't.
I'm gonna make it happen. Don't worry, okay? Tell him that I'm gonna make it happen. Okay? We together, guys. Se você gostou desse vídeo, comenta aí, me diz o que achou do accent do Chris, da forma do Chris falar inglês, que sem dúvida é top. Comenta o que vocês acharam. Vamos responder. Se tiver alguma coisa que eu não puder responder, eu vou lhe chamar. Chris, vem responder essa dúvida, ok? Don't forget, hit the subscribe button. I'll be waiting for you. Bye bye.